And 4 days are suggested for a heart attack or bypass surgery. So far, they've worked to slow the growth of medical costs. Last year, healthcare expenses for businesses using HMOs fell 1%, while overall healthcare prices rose 5%. Doctors who are contracted to HMOs say they are satisfied that the guidelines do not compromise quality.
Early discharge recommendations are based in areas where we have some evidence that patients can have just as good an outcome being at home as being in the hospital.
Nevertheless, most physicians are reluctant to tell their patients how standardized their care has become.
I think it can mislead patients to being concerned about the fact that they're being treated by a book and not by a physician.
He is about ready to go probably tomorrow.
As the use of guidelines grows, so too does the concern about how they are being used. As the pressure to cut costs increases, there are numerous examples of guidelines being used to second-guess doctors and prevent patients from getting the best care. 4 days following a serious heart attack, Dave Basham's HMO called, demanding the hospital follow its guidelines and release him. His doctors refused, threatening to sue if the HMO interfered.
Of course, it's compromised care. You're sending someone out when the actual wall of their heart is something like a boil coming to a head. It's soft, dead tissue, and anything can happen.
What many doctors fear may happen is the best treatment for patients will be defined as much by cost as effectiveness, forcing individual patients to play a more vocal and active role in ensuring they get the care they need. This is George Strait for the American Agenda.
As we said, a sizable majority of those Americans enrolled in HMOs are satisfied with the service. But our polling unit did find some weak spots, most notably when people wanted to get beyond their primary case doctor to reach a specialist. HMOs freely admit that's not an accident. They say specialists are expensive and not always necessary. For the American Agenda, our medical editor, Tim Johnson.
At Boston's Beth Israel Hospital, Dr. Larry Epstein is a highly specialized cardiologist who treats abnormal heart rhythm. He is excited about the many new treatments he can use to help his patients. But now he's worried about whether or not he will be allowed to use them.
It's a little annoying to think that somebody's looking over your shoulder and telling you how to practice medicine. Hi, how are you?
This is how it works. If you have a heart problem, you must first go to your primary care doctor. But your primary care physician, who is getting paid by your health plan, is under pressure to keep costs down. If he refers too many patients to specialists, he may lose the business he gets from managed care plans. Therefore, your primary care doctor is under pressure to treat complicated cases himself.
They're asking the primary caregivers to do more and more. And as you know,
and to treat all kinds of different problems.
That's right. So if you think about it, a primary caregiver, to ask them to know not only all the advances that are going on in my field, but that are going on in every field, that's kind of a daunting prospect.
Even when the primary care doctor agrees to send a patient to a specialist, the managed care plan can say no.
We had a patient who lived in upstate New York, was kind of in between big medical areas. His primary care person even knew about us and the reputation that we had to be able to do this. And so he wanted to come see us and have us do this procedure on him.
Before the patient, Tom Fisher, could come for the procedure that would fix his irregular heartbeat, Dr. Epstein had to get approval from Fisher's managed care plan. Dr. Epstein asked one of his secretaries, Angie Boyce, to take care of it.
We spent at least 2 days getting information from the patient, from the physician's offices, speaking to them, making arrangements for hotels for the patient.
And when we called his carrier, local HMO there, they wouldn't let him come to see us, and they said he needed to go to a local electrophysiologist who had done 8 of these procedures, and if the local guy failed, then he could come see us.
Tom Fisher did go to the local doctor who tried but failed. The doctor admitted to Fisher that he was, quote, in over his head.
And they're thinking that, well, this guy will take care of it, and we'll save our money and we'll be heroes. But they gambled and they lost, and I almost lost my life because of it.
Dr. Epstein says this experience shows how managed care guidelines can make both doctor and patient feel they are no longer in control because those guidelines seem to emphasize cost over quality.
What are you doing today that you weren't doing 3 and 4 years ago because of managed care?
I spend a whole lot more time thinking about the finances of medicine and really the business side of the medicine.
Then they have to spend time on the phone to insurance companies explaining what it is they do and why the patient would benefit from having a procedure. I think that's very sad.
What do you say to the person who says, I don't want you, my doctor, to even have to spend 10% of his time on thinking about business and finance and phone calls to get the care I need.
Well, I'd say to that person, I agree with you, and I'd love to be able to do that, but that is not the reality in America in 1995 or in the foreseeable future.
Our medical editor, Dr. Tim Johnson. Well, some of the most dramatic changes in the healthcare system are taking place in Arizona. And so tomorrow night, we will broadcast from Phoenix. Back in just a moment.
A sparkling ship on crystal waters is coming.
Absolutely gorgeous. It was so much fun.
The perfect lobster is coming.
Our waiters, they would do anything for us, any time.
Perfection is coming.
A gift from the captain.
Memories are coming. 7 days in Royal Caribbean's Caribbean are coming. You've got some Royal Caribbean coming.
You in pain? Not now. My doctor gave me Tylenol, extra strength. Wait, Tylenol works after knee surgery? Here I am.
From post-surgical pain to headaches, doctors recommend Tylenol the most.
Come on!
That's too long to suffer with heartburn.
Mylanta users discuss Tagamet HB.
You want relief fast? Mylanta works faster.
That's true. I can't wait for Tagamet HB to work. Mylanta is faster.
Besides, my doctor said Mylanta.
It's simple.
Yeah.
This is Jack. He's learning about airplanes on a PC with an Intel Pentium processor inside. The Pentium processor has the power to make software look, sound, and feel more real, which lets Jack's imagination really take off. The Intel Pentium processor.
From Dayton, Ohio this evening, there are late developments at the Bosnian peace talks. The negotiations between the Bosnians, the Serbs, and the Croats have been going all night and all day today. ABC's David Ensor is there. David.
The American-imposed deadline on these talks passed many hours ago, but Secretary of State Warren Christopher has still not closed them down. American diplomats say they still have some hope of achieving agreement on the one remaining issue that divides the warring parties, the map of a new Bosnia. After 4 years of bloodshed over land, U.S. officials say neither the Bosnian Muslims nor the Serbs appear willing to make the concessions necessary for peace, but they will keep trying. Last night, the talks went all night. Christopher negotiated, as aides say, for 22 hours straight. One Western diplomat says he believes they may talk all night again tonight. After 20 days of talks, they're still trying, but officials admit the danger of failure here in Dayton is real. That would mean a greatly increased risk that one party or another might decide to gain in battle what was not achieved here. For the U.S., the fate of 20,000 troops President Clinton has promised to help police any peace agreement hang in the balance. Troops in Germany are already training for such a mission, and if there were agreement here soon, they might still find themselves in Bosnia by Christmas. David Ensor, ABC News, Dayton.
On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrials lost nearly 7 points to close at 49.83. And on the NASDAQ market, stocks lost about 15 points.
For a conquest like this, you need the cushioning and support of a walking shoe and the nerve to look down. Easy Spirit. Inside's our walking shoe, outside's the whole world.
The good old days of supermarket shopping, when nothing stood between you and your next meal. Nothing. But today, there are materials that help lock out harmful contaminants and reduce spoilage, keeping us safe and the food we eat fresh. Plastics make it possible. So now, the rest is history.
It happens in the hospital. It happens at home.
When heartburn flares up, the #1 choice of hospitals is fast-acting Maalox. Hospitals can count on it for speed, and that's just what you need. Maalox, the first choice for hospitals, the fast choice for home.
Now, you can save 25% off regular prices on some of Goodyear's most popular passenger performance and light truck tires. Everyday low prices start at only $19.99. Believe it. Just turn up at any participating Goodyear retailer. But hurry, this sale ends soon.
Fibercon or Metamucil? Both give you the same predictable regularity, the same natural action of fiber. So what makes Fibercon different? With Fibercon, I get my fiber in 2 caplets. Fibercon, fiber regularity that's easier to take.
Coming up on Channel 2 News at 6:30, government employees went back to work today, but how do taxpayers feel about being stuck with the bill for their days off? Also, a custodian who taught students energy-smart behavior and saved school districts thousands at 6:30.
Finally from us this evening, Diana, the Princess of Wales. After all the scrutiny in the 14 years since marrying and then separating from Prince Charles, she has finally told her side of the story in a very public way. This evening, she was interviewed on the most influential public affairs program in Britain. Here's ABC's Mike Lee.
As the Princess of Wales arrived for a charity event tonight, most of Britain was rushing home to watch the interview. Her turn to answer years of rumors about her troubled marriage, adultery, and her future.
But it was...
Diana spoke for nearly an hour on Prince Charles's extramarital affair with Lady Camilla Parker Bowles. Devastating, she said. A feeling of being useless, hopeless, a husband who loves somebody else.
Do you think Mrs. Parker Bowles was a factor in the breakdown of your marriage?
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
Postnatal depression after the birth of her first son, Prince William, in the early 80s, she said, drove her to injure herself. I was calling out for help. Diana confirmed rumors she used to suffer from bulimia or deliberate vomiting, a symptom of low self-esteem, she said, because of her failing marriage.
But it was subsequently reported that you suffered bulimia.
Mm.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did. I had bulimia for a number of years. And that's like a secret disease you inflicted upon yourself because your self-esteem is to low ebb and you don't think you're worthy or valuable.
The princess says there's been a campaign against her from within the palace.
Well, the enemy was my husband's department because I always got more publicity. My work was discussed much more than him. And, you know, from that point of view, I understand it.
She acknowledged having an affair with an ex-army officer after her legal separation from Charles.
Did your relationship go beyond a close friendship?
Yes, it did. Yes.
Were you unfaithful?
Yes, I adored him. Yes, I was in love with him.
Diana says she does not want divorce, but will await and abide by her husband's decision.
I don't want a divorce, but obviously we need clarity on the situation.
While the interview captivated the country, the publicity over it angered the royal family. The Queen didn't even watch it live, but instead went to the theater. Mike Lee, ABC News, London.
The full interview with the Princess of Wales will be seen on a special edition of Turning Point this coming Friday evening on ABC. I'm Peter Jennings, and we will continue our coverage on health care reform in America from Phoenix, Arizona, tomorrow night. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
There's no such thing as an ordinary day in the 15th precinct.
Hey, come here. Come here. Oh.
Because this
Don't be stupid.
is no ordinary show.
Don't move. Gun!
An all-new Blue, Tuesday. Viewer discretion advised.
Just ahead on Channel 2 News at 6.
And the cassette plays in your VCR. And we promise great prices guaranteed. If you buy here, then find a lower price, we'll gladly give you the difference in cash.
The top brands, the latest models.
And a great price guaranteed. That's us.
If you've shopped around, you'd be glad you found Home Video Library Electronics.
With the poached pears steaming and the turkey ready for carving, the Bradley family is gathering once again to share a holiday meal. At a moment like this, they're not thinking about how they saved on the whole meal at Fred Meyer, and that's okay. the Bradleys can just keep on enjoying the foods they love, and we'll keep on bringing them to them. Great food at lower prices every day. You'll find it at Fred Meyer.